Alright, what is up guys, Sam here again with another video, and first off, ignore the mess in the background. This is going to be like the new sort of recording space I'm trying to work on, but at the moment it's just storage, so we've got loads and loads and loads of just pure rubbish behind me. But anyway, in this video I wanted to go over 5 cheap things that I think are just worth keeping in your boxing bag, pretty much. So these are just things that I like to throw in. If you hear some rustling around, it's my dog Jack's behind me, so he might make a little cameo or something in a minute, but he'll be right. Yeah, so I'm going to go through 5 cheap things to add to your boxing bag that you can literally hop on Amazon, get them ordered next day, throw them in your bag and just have a little bit more peace of mind. So without droning on too much, because probably all this video, let's get into number 1. So at number 1 I have deodorizing balls. They are amazing. They're these little balls that you order off Amazon. They usually come in like a pack of like 5, 6, 8, so you get quite a few with them, so good sort of money for what you're good value, so to speak, for what you're spending on them. And they're just great. I mean, like, boxing bags stink. Like, if you train out, you'll know every time you open the bag it's got that boxing gym smell to it. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a special smell reserved for boxing gear. I imagine like other fighting sports probably get its work through Muay Thai and that. You walk in the gym and it's just like, yeah, that's the boxing gym smell. You just know it straight off. So keeping deodorizing balls in your bag, especially if you keep your gym bag in your car, and that, like, I keep mine in the back of my truck all the time, so as soon as I open that door, it's like, boom, it's gonna hit you. So keeping some deodorizing balls in there, like, just great. I mean, like, keeps your gloves smelling fresh, like your wraps, every time you put your wraps on, it's like, you're not getting that whiff as you're going round and round, like a whiff every time you get of it, and it's just like, it's just good for everyone else as well, especially if you have like a towel that you keep in there and that to wipe sweat and that, keeps it smelling fresh, means that everyone else hasn't got to smell all your like BO and that throughout the session. So number 1 is deodorizing balls. Number 2 is a pair of sliders, or whatever your choice of sliders, so to speak. So any sort of like open footwear that you can put on either before or after your session, because your feet are going to be really, really hot and sweaty after a boxing session, especially if you're wearing like the boots that I imagine most of you either wear boxing boots or wrestling boots. I'd really recommend getting a pair of sliders. The ones that I like are these. They're by Hoka 11 or Hoka. I can't remember. It's the running shoe manufacturer, but these ones are actually proven to be good support for your feet, and they've got like clinical sort of studies and that done on them. I won't get in too deep, but yeah, it's just like after you finish your session, it's nothing worse than putting like steamy feet straight into another pair of your trainers. They're just stinking up 2 pairs of shoes for no reason. So grab a pair of sliders for after your session, let your feet breathe a bit. It's good for your foot health as well, especially if like when you're training, you're doing your running, doing your gym sessions, then you're doing your boxing sessions as well. Your feet are taking an absolute battering. It's really bad for your feet to be like constantly like damp, moist and hot, so definitely get a pair of sliders. Again, for after your runs and that, come home before you hop in the shower and that, pop on your sliders while you're waiting for, I don't know, whatever you do after a run or after your session. Just get some sliders, man, let your feet breathe a bit. It's good for your foot health, let your toes stretch out. 100%, like, I couldn't live without having a pair of sliders at home, so chuck them in your bag, and then you've always got them on you. That's what I say anyway. At number 3, I would say another pair of hand wraps. So it's not something that like, it's probably not necessary, but it's always nice. Like, especially for me, I like to have 2 pairs of hand wraps in my bag. So I like to keep a pair of the Rival hand wraps, which you guys would have seen. Probably not in my videos. Like, they're my go-to hand wraps. They're stretchy, they're forgiving. Like, they've just got great consistency for hand wraps. But I also occasionally like to keep a pair of ringside hand wraps, and they still got a tiny bit of stretch into them, but they're way firmer and much harder than the Rival ones. And sometimes I just feel like mixing it up, like, depending on what we're doing and that. Like, the Rival ones just, if you tried multiple hand wraps, you'll know you get a different feel from different hand wraps. And some days I'll put on the Rival ones, and where they are elasticated, sometimes on your forearm it just feels a little bit too, like, I guess constricted. Whereas if you put the firm ones on, how firm you put them on is what you're going to get. They're not going to change or anything. Whereas the Rival ones, because they got more movement in them, sometimes you can just feel like the blood feeling a little bit tight and that, and they just don't feel quite right. So I like having 2 pairs. It gives me the option that if I think I'm wrapping one hand up in the Rivals and I'm thinking, yeah, like, I'm not feeling these today, I can chuck on the ringside ones and I know, like, yeah, I'll be good. I mean, maybe it's easy to just have 1 pair, so you're just forced to wear what you got, but I like to have options. I mean, if you're training hard, you're going to be doing, you can do pad work, bag rounds, you're going to be sparring. That's a lot of work on your hands, and you want something that's comfortable and like allows you to keep pushing without discomfort. So yeah, definitely think worth keeping a second pair of hand wraps is worth it. Also, again, for smells, you can rotate them if you want. Even if you pack the same hand wraps, you can have one day, one the next day. So they've got plenty of time to air out and, you know, do that good stuff. Number 4 is a pair of resistance bands. So resistance bands are great, either for like stretching, doing some warm-up activities. There's loads of stuff you can do with them, especially if you get there before a session. If you've got 5-10 minutes, grab a band out, do a few curls, a few overhead, step on the back, put it over your head. I'll probably pop in some B-roll, different exercises you can do with the bands, but honestly, they're great use for, like, again, stretching your calves out. Again, you can do shoulder exercise, foot exercise, especially if you've got a partner. Someone can hold it, someone can do a few swap, vice versa. It's just a great sort of exercise you can get to really get in like some resistance sort of warm up, and you can just like overstretch your muscles, not in a bad way, but get a stretch in them that you wouldn't necessarily get by doing like a standard stretch. And also, yeah, if you do want to get in a workout after your session or something, and you just want to do some band work, again, like helping your mobility, things like that. You've probably heard it in my past videos, like stretching is such a massive thing, and I think all young athletes need to take it more seriously. Stretching, recovery, foam rolling, things like that, which is definitely aided by resistance bands. I mean, like, you can get some really cool stretches with them, so 100% pair of resistance bands, again, like, you know, stretches, a little bit of a workout at the end, whatever you want to do, they're just such a universal tool. So that's number 4. And number 5, we have the classic, which I just mentioned, but I'm going to kind of split this one, so you can either do a massage ball or a foam roller, just some sort of device that you can use if you've got aches, pains, niggles, that just quickly you can get in, ram into the pain, get in there, get a good stretch, get a release in your muscle. I quite like the hard balls you can get. They're probably about that big. You'll see some footage of it anyway. My dog had it, so there's loads of holes in mine because Jack's had a good chew on it. But they're great just for like before your session and that. I get it bad in my like between like my shoulder and my lats, like up there. It'll freeze up real tight. It'll have like achy sort of pull-in sensation on it. Like 5 minutes, either up against a wall if you don't want as much pressure, or on the floor, whichever one you want to do. Just get in there, release up those joints. Honestly, like having some sort of muscle sort of trigger release system before you train or after you train, honestly 100% worth it. They're dead cheap. You pick them up for like $5.99. I will pop links to everything that I've mentioned in this video down below, so you guys can go pick up your own, see what you fancy. Yeah, massage ball, again, like there's so many good benefits. You've probably heard me drone on about foam rollers in the past, but if you want to buy like a short foam roller, then one of those would be great to chuck in your gym bag. What they also do now is the expandable ones. Personally, I haven't tried one, so I won't say whether they're good or not because I don't want to send you guys down the wrong route. But if you've used them before, pop in the comments, let people know. I think they're a great idea. I definitely want to try one out, see if they're any good. But that'll be further down the line anyway. Maybe I'll do a video just like comparing a bunch of foam rollers so you guys can get the best one. Yeah, that's my 5 things. I mean, you could probably pick all of them up for probably like under 40 quid. I think they're great, just like accessories to have in your bag, ready for when you need them. And I probably use, I mean, some of them you don't technically use, but if I'm training, I'm going to be putting on sliders after. I'm going to be using hand wraps, so having 2 pairs doesn't hurt. I'll probably use resistance bands to get a stretch in, or on my legs. I'll always stretch my calves out. I get really tight calves and Achilles, so that's great. But yeah, that's my 5 things, guys, that I think are just dead cheap. Add them to your bag, use them when you need them. All links will be in the description if you want anything. Check out whatever links are down there, really. I don't know what will be down there, but it might be something interesting. And if you did enjoy the video, found it helpful, leave a like and subscribe, and then hopefully I'll see you guys next time.